Welcome to the channel Physics Made Easy. Today again we are going to discuss the section D of the CBSE sample paper class 12th. There are 5 questions, each question is of 3 marks. So total marks are 15. Question 26, first part, name any semiconductor device which operates under reverse bias in the breakdown region. It is written in the breakdown region. Then what is the name of PN junction which operates in the breakdown region under reverse bias? That is Zener diode. So first answer is Zener diode. Second, why does the reverse current show a sudden increase at the critical voltage in reverse characteristics for a PN junction? You know what happens in case of reverse characteristics drawn for we are going to discuss for PN junction reverse bias Zener diode. So this current is in milliampere in the forward bias. This current is in microampere during the reverse bias, this axis current. At this voltage, this is the critical voltage or breakdown voltage, we can say, whatever we can write here, this V equal to VB you can write. You know the voltage axis here at the x-axis. So in reverse biasing of the PN junction, when voltage increases, what happens? The reverse bias PN junction, their current flows due to minority charge carriers. In forward biasing, majority charge carriers. What are minority charge carriers in P and N? In P, electrons, and in N side, holes. So what happens when reverse bias voltage increases? Then few minority carriers, they are very less in number due to negligible amount of current is supposed to be flowing. Okay. Then what happens when voltage increases and at the particular voltage there is a sharp increase in current, as it is said to ask why. What happens at this voltage, that is called breakdown voltage, the electron which are minority charge carriers in P side, they are attracted, they are pulled by the high voltage develops across the junction. You know what happens when high voltage, this voltage, reverse voltage increases, then electric field also increases. When electric field at the junction becomes high enough to pull down the electrons from P side to go in the N side. This is called internal field emission. Large number of electrons are pulled, so they are responsible for the current in the reverse bias, that is sudden increase in current. It happens only when this voltage is sufficiently large to produce high electric field, so that electrons are pulled from the P side to go towards N side. This is called internal field emission. In this way, this answer is explained. Choice question of this is, explain with the help of a circuit diagram working of a PN junction diode as half wave rectifier. You know what is the meaning of rectifier? What is the purpose of rectifier? Rectifier is to convert AC into DC, a device which converts alternating current to direct current. It is half wave rectifier. You know AC sine wave, you must have read in the alternating currents. How the AC is produced? By the transformer. Suppose we are having a transformer's primary coil like this, okay, and the AC source is applied across the ends of the primary coil. These are the number of turns in the primary coil. In the secondary coil, here a PN junction is connected like this. This N side is connected with the load resistance shown by RL, across which the output is obtained. This is the simple connection circuit diagram of PN junction as used as half wave rectifier. Now, what happens? First of all, you should draw the long y-axis at which you draw the x-axis here to show the alternating current which is applied in the input and whatever you are getting output across the load to show here. Okay, so you have to mark the points with the help of scale and pencil. For input current, AC source is applied. This is, do the proper labeling, this is AC source. Okay, then if the AC source is applied, then what happens? The AC is shown like this sine curve. I am showing this. This input is applied here across the ends of the primary coil. At the secondary coil, this input, due to mutual induction, transformer works at the principle of mutual induction. What happens here? That this PN junction, it is attached with secondary coil. You get output across this load resistance. How the output is obtained, I am showing in the across this line. Look, what happens due to mutual induction when P, for the first half cycle I am talking about that, whenever for first half cycle P is positive, then S is also positive. When S is positive, then P side, this is PN junction, this arrow shows the P and this line shows the N, then P positive, and when P1 and P2 you write and S1 and S2, then P1 is positive, then P2 is negative. Due to mutual induction, same changes occur here. S1 is positive, S2 is negative. So N is connected with S2 with the help of load. So this becomes negative, this is positive. For the first half cycle, this PN junction is forward bias. P positive and negative forward biasing. So what happens? You get current in the output. For the next half cycle, this negative cycle, this P1 negative, then S1 also negative. What happens? This S1 negative, this P negative, and simultaneously this S2 at positive. So this becomes reverse biasing. P negative and positive, reverse biasing. Reverse biasing means no current, no voltage across load. You will not get any current here during this negative half cycle. That's why you have to draw the diagram like this. Again, this process is repeated for the next half cycle. Whenever P is positive and is negative, that is, you can say whenever PN junction is forward biased, it conducts. Whenever is reverse biased, it doesn't. So what are you getting? It conducts during forward bias, during reverse bias it doesn't. Then again during forward bias it conducts, you are getting output. During reverse bias it doesn't. Again it is conducting, then not. So this cycle is repeated again and again. Since the half wave of input is rectified, you are getting current only for the half wave, not for that half wave during which the PN junction becomes reverse biased. That's why this is called half wave rectifier, since half of the AC input is rectified. So in this way, this is the working of a PN junction as half wave rectifier. Next question is question 27. A part, name the physical quantity which is same for X-rays wavelength 10 to the power minus 10 meter, red light wavelength 6800 angstrom, and radio waves of wavelength 500 meter. You will read these wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum, but what is the question asked that what physical quantity is constant, same in all these three waves? Can you guess? Simple, it's their speed in vacuum. They all travel in air or vacuum with the same speed. And what is that? The speed of light, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So A part's answer is their speed. B part, a parallel plate capacitor is charged by an external AC source. Show that the displacement current inside the capacitor is same as the current charging the capacitor. You know what happens when a capacitor, parallel plate capacitor, is charged by the battery? As soon as the switch is pressed, the current begins to flow here. You know, here the plate cap is present and then the current comes here. How this capacitor is charged? To see the complete description, my video of displacement current in the EM wave. Here it's simple that during the charging of the capacitor, this plate is connected with the positive terminal, this plate is connected with the negative terminal. So they acquire the potential difference of positive and negative. And whenever the capacitor is charging, during that time the electric field, this is positive and this is negative, and these charges go on increasing and increasing. I am talking about during that time till it is being charged. The electric field developed between the plates of the capacitor is sigma upon epsilon naught. What is this sigma? You can write Q upon A epsilon naught. You know, the displacement current is defined as the current produced between the plate gap during the charging process of the capacitor due to the change of electric flux. You know what is the formula for displacement current? ID equal to epsilon naught d phi by dt. What is this phi? Electric flux. You know flux, E into A, E dot A. What will you write here? This is epsilon naught, this d by dt of what is electric flux? You can write E A. And this E electric field is perpendicular to the plates from positive towards negative side. Then what happens during the charging process of capacitor? This E and A, its product, you have written here. Now this epsilon naught, you can take out A here and you can write d by dt of this E. What is this E? Q upon A epsilon naught. Look, what will you get? This you will get here, this epsilon naught A into dq upon dt into epsilon naught A. Will be or not? This will be cancelled. You can cancel here this one. What is left? Only dq by dt. And what is here? ID, displacement current. dq by dt is the rate of flow of charge through the battery. That means it is the charging current. So question says that show that capacitor the displacement current inside the capacitor is same as the current charging the capacitor. This is the current charging the capacitor. You can write it with the IC. So this IC is dq by dt, ID equal to IC. You have proved this is ID equal to IC. I am repeating again. During the charging, displacement current is produced between the plate caps. This displacement current formula you should learn. Phi is EA. You can take out A outside. E is Q upon A epsilon naught. This E epsilon naught, A epsilon naught will be cancelled. dq by dt is IC. In this way, you have to solve. See the question 28. First part, what are coherent sources? Second part, in Young's double slit experiment using monochromatic light of wavelength lambda, the intensity at a point on the screen where path difference is lambda is k units. What is the intensity of light at a point where path difference is lambda by 3? Now the first part, what are coherent sources? Coherent sources are such sources which produce continuously light waves of same constant wavelength, frequency, and also the light waves must have the constant phase difference or in the same phase, zero phase difference. All the light waves produced by the coherent sources, they are in the same phase, or if there exists certain phase difference, then it should be constant along with the constant wavelength and frequency. So such sources are called coherent sources. They are required for interference. The phenomenon of interference is possible only with the coherent sources. See in the second part, in Young's double slit experiment, monochromatic light using wavelength lambda, the intensity at a point on the screen. You know what is the intensity formula for Young's double slit experiment? This second part I am going to solve. The intensity of the two waves after superposition, you know interference is based on the principle of superposition. Their intensity is given by, this is 4I naught cos square phi by 2. Learn how this expression is derived, where I naught is the intensity of individual waves. So here this phi is the phase difference between the waves. One more relation you should learn, that for phase difference delta phi is equal to 2 pi over lambda into path difference. These two relations are used here. Look here. For the first case, intensity in the interference you should know. Now one more thing, that for phase change of 2 pi, path difference is lambda. You should know these facts. One wave having wavelength lambda, what is the phase corresponding to that? 2 pi. So here how will you write that phi by 2 is given? Then how will you put here this resultant value for phi by 2? What will be the value? You will write here the path difference. Then what will you get here from this relation? You know this is 2 pi over lambda into path difference. Path difference you have to find, this phase is pi. Then into path difference you have written as it is. Then what will you get path difference? You bring here lambda, this by 2. What will be the path difference? Lambda by 2. Whatever may be the phase change, you can find the path difference. Here it is given the path difference is lambda It is already given. Then for path difference lambda, how much is the phi? Phi value is 2 pi. You put here for phi is value 2 pi, then 2 will be cancelled. What will you get? Only pi. For first expression, as per the given condition, you will get this 4I naught cos square pi. You will get 2 pi upon 2 I am writing, then 2 will be cancelled. What will be? Pi. And you know cos pi is -1 square plus 1. So this implies that this I is equal to 4I naught and it is given equal to k units. This is the expression number 1. So here, what is the intensity of light at a point where path difference is lambda by 3? Now you put the path difference lambda by 3. So if you write here this path difference lambda by 3, then this is 2 pi upon lambda into lambda by 3. What will be this phi dash? I am writing this time, this lambda is cancelled. So this will be 2 pi by 3. Now in the second case, if intensity is I dash, then what will you get I dash? This I dash will be 4 I naught cos square phi dash by 2 from this expression. Okay, you have written expression number 1 for the first case. Now expression number 2 for the second case. What is phi dash? 2 pi by 3. Then if you write here, this is 4 I naught. What is 4 I naught? This is k. You write here k. What is cos square phi dash by 2? Phi dash by 2. You know what will left here? This is cos square. This is phi dash. Phi dash by 2 will be pi by 3. So you will write here this is pi by 3. You know pi by 3, pi radian is 180 degree. Then pi by 3 will be 60 degree. And cos 60 is half. Then what will be the answer? This shows that this I dash will be k by 4. Why k by 4? Because half square. Cos pi by 3 half square is 1 by 4. So this will become k by 4. So in this way, you have to solve this question. See the question number 29. First part, what is meant by transition? How much time does it take? You know, transition is defined as the change in an atom from one energy state into other. That is called transition. I am repeating again, the change in an atom from one energy state into other. It takes 10 to the power minus 8 seconds of time. Second part, so in the first part we have seen what is transition and what is the time it takes, 10 to the power minus 8 seconds. Second part is a hydrogen atom in its ground state is irradiated by light of wavelength 970 angstrom. Find the number of lines present in the emission spectrum. You know, lambda is given 970 angstrom. So what is the change of energy from one energy level to other energy level? Its formula is given by hc by lambda. When the hydrogen atom is irradiated with this lambda, then how much is the energy change? You can write in this formula the values of Planck's constant and C, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8. You have to convert this energy in EV. So write lambda, it is given 970 into 10 to the power minus 10 into, you have to divide it by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, so that you will get the answer in EV. If you don't divide with this, you will get SC upon lambda in joules. So learn delta E in EV you can get by putting this value. After solving this, this is here 0, you will get this 66 into 3 upon 9700 into this 1.6 into here, this is 10 to the power minus 26. Here it is 10 to the power minus 29. Okay, so this 0 is here, this is 1.6. After solving, you will get this value as 12.75 eV. Hydrogen in the ground state, how much energy it has? In the ground state, the energy of hydrogen atom in the ground state, it is minus 13.6. How much energy is produced by this 970 angstrom when it is in this radiation falls at the ground state of hydrogen atom? You will add it. This is 12.75 eV. This will be equal to, what is the energy formula in the nth energy level? This is minus 13.6 upon n square. So you put this equal to minus 13.6 upon n square. Look here, you will get this n square as this 13.6 upon 0.85. This is 6. 8 to the not 6. This is 8 0. This is 0. So this n square is 16. 85 1 ja 85. Then this one. This corresponds to n equal to 4. We have to find the number of lines present in the emission spectrum. N equal to 4 to the ground state. For ground state, what is value of n? For ground state, n equal to 1. So how many lines are seen from n equal to 4 to n equal to 1? Look, from 4 to 3, then 4 to 2, then 4 to 1. Come to the third, then 3 to 2, then 3 to 1. Come to the second, then 2 to 1. Will be or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many number of lines present in the emission spectrum? Number of lines will be 6. From where to where? It is shown like this. You can also show by drawing the energy level like this one. If you draw first one, this is ground state, this is n equal to 1, this is n equal to 2, this is n equal to 3, and this is n equal to 4. Look how it is counted from 4 to 1, 4 to 2, 4 to 3, then 3 to 2, 3 to 1, then 2 to 1. So these are the 6 lines. If it is asked how to represent, then in this way you can represent. Okay. Come to the choice question. It is said in the first part, A part, assuming the nuclei to be spherical in shape, compare the surface area of two nuclei with mass number A1 and A2 respectively. You know, there is a relation regarding the radius of nucleus with the mass number. Part A, look here in the choice part, R is given as R naught A to the power 1 by 3. So for mass number A1 and A2, what this expression gives? R1 equal to R naught A to the power A1 to the power 1 by 3 and R2 equal to R naught A2 to the power 1 by 3. Divide. This will be cancelled. What is R1 upon R2? This one. You have to compare the surface area. what is surface area? 4 pi r square. So for the first one upon for the second one, what is the value? This is r1 upon r2 whole square. This 4 pi will be cancelled. So what is the ratio here? This you can write a1 upon a2 to the power 1 by 3 and a square will make it 2 by 3. So this is the ratio of surface area. In this way the first part is solved. What is the part B? A nucleus of uranium decays at rest into nuclei of thorium and helium. Which nuclei has more kinetic energy? Thorium or helium? It was at rest, uranium. You know, law of conservation of momentum. If from uranium it is broken into two fragments, thorium and helium. Initial momentum 0, final momentum 0 because no external force acts in the explosion. Explosion occurs due to internal forces. So what can you say? That initial momentum equal to final momentum. So what will you write here? You can write this P initial equal to P final and that is 0. Final momentum, if thorium and helium you can write, then you will write final momentum because they will be in motion. Momentum of helium plus momentum of thorium, that will be equal to this final momentum, so it is 0. So magnitude wise P helium equal to P thorium. Will you write or not? Okay. Now you know the momentum is related with the kinetic energy by this relation twice mke. You know k equal to half mv square. How this relation is achieved? Half mv square. You write here half m. In place of v, what can you write? P by m. So v square means p square upon m square. How? Because p is mv. So you can write v as p by m and you put here. So this m is cancelled. So p square equal to 2mk. So p is root 2mk. Okay. This all you have read. So from this relation, kinetic energy is inversely proportional to m or not? Look here, both have root. I have deleted the root. So m into ke is constant. So m is inversely proportional to ke. No, thorium, helium. Since mass of helium is less than mass of thorium, therefore kinetic energy of helium will be greater than kinetic energy of thorium. This question is asked that whose kinetic energy will be more? What will be your answer? Kinetic energy of helium. In this way, it is solved. See the last question of section D, question 30. First part, which material is used for the meter bridge, wire and why? This question is related with the experiment of meter bridge. In the meter bridge, 1 meter long standard wire is used. What is standard wire? It is asked which material? The metal alloy such as nichrome, constantan, manganese. I am writing here manganese, constantan, nichrome. These are the examples of metal alloy. Why are these used as a material in meter bridge wire? Because their temperature coefficient of resistance. What is its symbol? Temperature coefficient of resistance is denoted by alpha. So its alpha is almost very low or negligible, so that the change in temperature does not bring any remarkable change in the resistance of the wire. because alpha is negligible, then change in resistance is negligible if the temperature changes. Second thing, resistivity of these alloys is comparatively high. So resistivity is comparatively high and temperature coefficient is low. These are the two reasons. Next part, in the figure, null point position shown by galvanometer is at 52 centimeter. This is the figure of meter bridge experiment. Look here, the null point position is shown and the AB is the wire which is of manganese nichrome or alloy wire. So this is the balance position at the 52 centimeter. Find the ends. For the ends A and B, the end corrections are 1 centimeter and 2 centimeter respectively. Find the value of X. You know, principle of Wheatstone bridge at which the meter bridge works. What does it say? That X upon 10 equal to this P by Q equal to R by S. This is the formula. You have read the ratio of resistances of two arms in the principle of Wheatstone bridge. You have read this is okay. In the theory you have to prepare. Here it is the galvanometer, here it is the battery. So if these are the resistances P, Q, R, S, then P by Q equal to R by S in the balance state when there is no current through the galvanometer. Here this is P, this is Q, this is R, this is S. So X upon 10 equal to this upon this. What will be this value? Total length is 100 centimeter. So this value will be 48 centimeter. So X upon 10, what will you write? This 52 upon 48 in general experimental values you write. Here it is given end corrections. So at the end A, you know, at the end of the 1 meter long wire, there are flat metallic strips of copper metal having negligible resistance. They are used. Here, since it is given 1 centimeter at A and 2 centimeter at B, so count them. So this will become 52 plus 1, that is 53, upon this 48 plus 2, that is 50. So what will be the X? This 530 upon 50, that is 5 1 ja 5, 0, 6. What is the value of X? 10.6. In this way you have to solve the questions.